up, bitches? Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'll be talking all about the new season of Locke Key, which came out over the weekend. Now, when I tell you that this show is one of the most underrated Netflix shows, it was such... I remember when season 1 first came out, there was like some hype about it. The premise looked interesting. And if you don't know what the show is actually about, I'll give you a quick rundown. It's about this family who moved back to their family home because their dad passed away, he was killed. So they go back to the dad's childhood home called the Key House. And in this house, there are different keys which the kids find, which have different magical abilities, which is really, really super cool. And obviously there's like a villain who wants to find the keys to do it for their own evil doings, blah, blah, blah. But the storyline is so good that I remember reading the synopsis and I was like, hey, like this is a show that I could get into. And then it came out and I watched season 1 and loved it. I thought it was amazing. It came out in 2020, I think. And then obviously season 2 was coming out, so I decided to do a binge watch, a re-watch of the first season to kind of refresh my memory, and I forgot how much I actually really enjoyed this show. Like, I have not been so into a show since like Julie and the Phantoms in last year. Like, there are a few shows which keep me hooked every single episode, and like there are a few shows that the storyline, because usually I watch the show half the time for characters, because I get attached to characters, you know, comfort characters, my representation, etc., etc. But with this show, I love all the characters. I love the storyline. It's so good. The show's well written. Like, it's got action, it's got adventure, it's got mystery, it's got magic, it's got drama. Like, it's a really underrated show. And like, on first watch, like, you kind of think it might be a little bit of like a kid's show. Like a little bit. Not a kid's show, but maybe like a teen show. Which it is kind of, but like, it's really, really not. Like, you think it's aimed at kids, but like half the stuff that happens in this show, like, it ain't a kid's show, let me tell you. It is not a kid's show. But yes, so I rewatched season 1 over, like, at the beginning of October, and I realized how much I actually do love this show. I was like, crap, this is actually a really great show. And it's such an, as I keep saying, it's an underrated gem. And more people should be watching this show. If you love magic, adventure, fantasy, if you love that stuff, you will love this. Trust me. I watched a lot of TV, and when I tell you you'll need to watch this show, you can trust me. You need to watch this show. I'll keep repeating myself, I'm sorry. But, so yeah, season 2 came out, and oh my god, it was so good. Like, it really matched season 1's level, even, possibly even more. Because, like, at least in season 1, you get introduced to the characters, you get introduced to the storyline, you know, what the show's about, with the keys, blah, 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 the kids looking for the keys, different things. Like, it's cool. There's this villain, Dodge, who's after the keys to, you know, open the black door to release the hell dimension, the demons, or whatever that's in there, you know, anyways. But season 2, like, we know all about the keys, but we know all about it, and then it's just like a full-on action-packed ride, like a roller coaster of emotions, and it's just, you just get thrown right back into the show, and it picks up like a couple of months after season 1, because like shit happens in season 1. So in the finale, spoiler alert, obviously, for anybody who hasn't watched season 2 or 1, and you're planning on watching season 1, maybe don't watch the rest of this video, but there will be spoilers from this point forward. This is your warning. You cannot blame me after this. This is your PSA. Anyway, so at the end of season 1, the kids, the Locks, threw Dodge through the black door, but it actually wasn't Dodge, it was Allie, because Dodge used the identity key to switch Allie's identity into Dodge, so they threw Allie in the black door, and Dodge is still out there. Plus, Dodge is going undercover as Gabe. There is no Gabe. It's actually Dodge this whole time. And then Eden got possessed by a demon. Like, he shot at her and it went into her arm. She got possessed. So it was like a lot of shit was going on. And I was like, holy crap, is this show for real? And I was floored. So season 2 is Gabe and Eden. By the way, Eden literally, she wasn't my favorite character in season 1. Like, she was cool, but it wasn't, like, my favorite. I felt a little bit sorry for her when Kinsey did the magic box to her. I was like, okay, a bit too far. But in season 2, after getting possessed by a demon, I have to say, the Demon Eden, icon, legend, queen. I stan. Her outfits every episode were on point. Her badass, like, icon, like, walking, like, she did not give a fuck, and I love that for her. I think the actress's name is Halia Jones. Halia Jones really nailed Demon Eden. Like, it's always fun to play the villain, the evil character, but she had so much fun with this role. You could so tell. Her and Gabe, Griffin Gluck, who plays Gabe, their dynamic on screen as Dodge and the villain, the Demon Eden, like, iconic. Like, their dynamic was everything. Like, they were like such a force to be reckoned with, you know. I was watching them, I'm like, holy crap, like, they do not give a fuck. They will go they went all out. They went so hard to find these keys and get their end game. And they really had Kinsey fooled, because obviously Gabe was dating Kinsey by the end of season 1, so obviously Kinsey was dating Dodge, which they didn't know that. Because we knew Gabe was evil, or like, you know, it was so many red flags, especially when he was like, so, do you know how to make keys? Like, he's trying to suss all this information about Uncle Duncan, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so you're being really shady. That's a bit sus, you know. And as I was watching the episodes, I did like a little mini review after each episode on Twitter. I did like a thread, pretty much so I could remember what happened. Because let me tell you, when I watched season 2, I binged watched it in one sitting. That's 10 episodes straight up, like back to back. Like, I had a couple of breaks here and there, but it was like, what, to go to the bathroom or something, or to get a snack. But I was on the couch watching from like 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's how good this show is. Usually, I don't really binge watch the whole season in one day. I usually kind of split it up into a couple of days just to like give me some time to breathe, you know, and process everything. But I just kept watching the next one, because they kept ending each episode on a cliffhanger, and I was like, holy crap, are you actually kidding me? I was like, I need to watch the next one. Like, I just couldn't stop watching. It was so good. There are rarely shows like that make me do that. Like, even you, last week, I did it in 2 days. I watched it in 2 days. But this one, Locke Key, I was full on board. And it's because I'm so invested in this show. And I love it so much. And it's just so much fun to watch as well. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, it's fun, but it also can get really, really dark. And the writers aren't afraid to shy away from they'll go dark. Like, they'll go evil. Like, they'll go really like, oh shit, did they just do that? Like, there's no chill up. It's like really fun 1 minute, and then there's like no chill the next. It's insane. So I'm going to go through my little thread that I did on Twitter. So episode 1, we found out that Jackie, who is Tyler's girlfriend, is turning 18, and she is starting to not remember magic, because obviously as an adult you don't remember magic as much anymore. You see, then your brain kind of gets rid of that. And so obviously the part of the story this season was to find a way to get Jackie to remember, because in last season, Ali said that they found a way to remember magic as adults. So that was kind of like, let's go try and save Jackie. Like, we need to get her to remember. And I love Jackie and Tyler. I really do. They're so cute. So her not remembering, I'm like, oh my god, like, this is like a really huge obstacle, right? And also in the premiere, I loved that, like, we had flashbacks to like 1755, where we got to kind of find out the origins of, like, you know, the first discovery of the black door, like the demon dimension. Because I was like, oh shit, there was actually no door when they found it. Like, the guy touched the wall and it crumbled, and then it just kept shooting at everybody, the demons. But there was no door, so it was really cool to have a flashback to see how, and even how the keys were made, because in some point in the season, you find out that as the demons shoot out of the black door, it becomes, and if they don't hit anybody, they just land in our world, and they become whispering iron, which is like a type of metal or an iron. And you can melt that down, and you can actually make keys out of it, which is how the magic keys came out of it. Because you make keys out of the iron, which is insane. And I'm like, that's so smart, holy crap. So we got some backstory about that, which was really cool. And I was actually really intrigued to see how it all kind of began. How the Locks got possession of the keys, like how it all started, and it was so interesting to get that insight, so I loved that. And then episode 2 was a big game changer episode, because if you remember in season 1, that lady, I think it was Erin Voss, I think her name was Erin, she was the lady who was comatose, because she was locked inside her own head because Dodge left her in there, or whatever happened. Maybe it was Lucas. Somebody left her in her own head, and so she was catatonic. But then Kinsey actually went inside her head to find out the tea about how do you find out how to make adults remember magic. So she went into her head, not realizing the real Erin was actually still in her own head. So she saved her, and Erin woke up, and now she's back, and she's back in now, but she lost 20 years of her life. It was such a big game changer because Erin was one of the original keepers of the keys. So like, it was so cool to have her come back, because she would have some insight, because obviously she remembers Duncan, and he doesn't remember anything, but he apparently, which we find out, was one of the guys, he was one of the only people who could actually create a key. He created, which key did he make? He made the memory key, which has the ability to make adults remember. I'm sorry, there is so much information I'm trying to get out in this video. I apologize if I am overloading you all, but like, I'm just saying random stuff. I don't even know if it's making any sense. Also, episode 2 introduced the hot history teacher, Mr. Josh. I was like, Daddy? No. I mean, I saw him and I'm like, hello, who are you, sir? Is it me, or are we simping between Josh and Duncan, Uncle Duncan? In my opinion. No, but Josh, I was like, sir, hello? Like, little love interest for Nina, love that for her. She deserves to be happy. So, but he had like a mini version, like of a dollhouse of a replica of Key House, but it was like in a dollhouse. It was like a replica, which was very sus, and I'm like, interesting. I don't trust this man, but also continue, because I want to know. Lucky you're hot, you know. And then we had episode 3, which explored more about the dollhouse, because there was the other key that whatever happened. So they put a key. Brody put the key into the dollhouse, which activated it, and whatever you do in the dollhouse actually happens in the real key house. So there was like a spider that went in key house, in the dollhouse, and then so that means a giant spider was in the real key house. It was actually insane. This show went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick, you know. Like, it was crazy. And the red flags just kept coming and coming with Gabe, and I'm just like, okay, sir, what the hell's going on? Like, but he was so good at, you know, faking it and like, you know, trying to manipulating Kinsey, but he was asking way too many questions, okay? But I really felt sorry for Duncan, because the poor guy is like overloaded, because I'm pretty sure they gave him his memories back. It was either that episode or the next one. They gave him his memories back, but because we didn't have the memory key yet, he was deteriorating like really fast. Like, he was having flashes of like things that happened, and he wasn't making sense of any of it. The poor guy was going through it this season. They really put Duncan through shit. The poor guy was just having a mental breakdown. He was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, the poor guy, you know. And then episode 5 was the big episode when we found out that Gabe was Dodge. Well, like, Kinsey found out, because they went inside Eden's head, and they found out that he was the one. Oh my god, that episode, that ending, you know, finding all that out, you know, Eden's a demon, and seeing the flashback of Gabe turning into Dodge. It was like, holy crap, it all started to make sense. It was just some good fucking storytelling, you know. Plus, Duncan remembered everything because they found the memory key. And it was just like, oh my god, my man knows. They really, usually shows always wait till the end to like give a big climatic, like, tie up everything. But they were really giving us answers and solutions, like, every episode. Like, you think Duncan would have kept forgetting until the end, but they put it halfway. He knew everything. He was back to help the kids. Like, he was king. Like, it was fantastic. Oh my god. And then we had episode 6. It was just, after the halfway mark, it was just craziness. Like, we had the truths, the lies. Like, Gabe was, you know, we were getting sus of him, but then also, you know, him and Eden was sus, and like Scott was noticing. Like, it was a whole, like, who do we trust? It was a back and forth thing. It was so, I'm telling you, this show, is crazy. I literally rated every episode like either 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Because I was just like, how is this show so good? And they had the different keys as well, like the Hercules key, which gives them super strength. We had, my favorite key was the angel key, I think they're calling it. When you get the wings. Oh my god, that scene in episode 10 when Kinsey's like on the edge and she's like, I will never be a demon. I will never be yours. You'll never have me. Because obviously, I just skipped a whole chunk of a story. Gabe was trying to, or Dodge, was trying to make this demon key, or whatever we're calling it. And what it does is when you activate it, it actually turns that person into a demon, or it gets a demon in them. So they get possessed by a demon. And it happened to, what's his name? I know what his name is. The guy from, I don't know what his name is. You turned half the people, and you had like an army of things. And even though like Gabe, even though it was evil, he still had a bit of a soft spot for Kinsey, because obviously he had to fake being in a relationship, but he actually got some feelings, I think. So I was like, hello. So he didn't want to force Kinsey to become a demon. He wanted her to choose it, but she would never choose that. And then she was on the edge of the cliff, which is like, you'll never have me. And she jumps off the cliff, and then she activates the angel key. The wings come out. She's flying around, and I was like, holy shit, the fuck. She's grabbing the crown of shadows. Like, she's an icon. I'm like, queen, let's go, honey. I'm full down for you. Let's go. It was this show. Oh my god. Also, Jackie dying. Are you kidding me? I was so shocked. I think it was episode 9. Or episode 8. 8 or 9. So episode 8, Jackie becomes a demon, or a demon possesses her. And Tyler's like, this is unacceptable. We gotta save her. And he's like, we have to make a key that can, if there's a key that can put a demon in you, there's got to be a key that can expel them. So Tyler King only decides he needs to make his own key to help to save the woman he loves, And I really love that so obviously Duncan was one of the only Locks who could create a key, because you have to put intention and then like lock blood into the key to make it like, it's a whole magical process. But when Tyler found the emergency whispering iron that his dad left him, Duncan couldn't hear it, only Tyler, which means now the torch has been passed on to Tyler. Now he's the one who can create keys, and it was his first time creating the alpha key, which could expel a demon, which was very exciting for him. And I really love that story for Tyler, because he's so underrated. I love him so much. He's my I would die for this man. And it was really cool that he was the one who created that key, because like out of everybody, like he's the one who needed it to work, So it made sense, and it made me so proud. He was took after he was taking after the family name or whatever. So he made the alpha key. He used it on Jackie. It expelled it. It worked, but then Jackie died. I know Jackie died because like she couldn't obviously handle it. I don't know what. I think because the whispering iron. The iron melted in her, I think, and it killed her because she wasn't able to have it, or it was in her body. It was like poison to her, I guess. So that she died, and I was actually really shocked, because I was like, shit, man, I really thought they were going to save her, which I technically did, but that she died. But like, I really thought they were going to save her, man. I was so upset. At it. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I really wanted them to work out. Like, I was like, shit. So she died, but I guess like the stakes had to be high, So it was like, all right. Also, we got some more backstory about how the keys came to be, like the first Locks that found the keys, or like the whispering iron. Like it was so good to get that insight into the keys and how it all began, But man, when I tell you, this show really just knocked it out of the park every single episode. I'm telling you, if you ain't watching this show, you are missing out. I feel like the underrated shows are the best ones. Sometimes when shows are so popular, they're not as good. But these underrated shows really just fly under the radar, and not enough people know about them. And I'm like, if I can help people watch this show, if I can get the word out, luckily there is a season 3. But like, man, when I tell you, if I can't describe how much I'm in love with this show. It's just so iconic. I could just rewatch it over and over again. It would never get old for me. And then we had the finale episode, which for me tied up so many loose ends from season 1. We had Rufus and Ali. So at the end of episode 9, Gabe, I think, summons the shadows to attack Eden and the hot teacher, Josh, because she took him to the door so he can, like, find the key or whatever to unlock it. But Gabe got the shadows, and the shadow people, they, like, knocked the cabin down, or they were, like, you know, they did something to the walls, so the door suddenly opened because they broke it. Or the door was falling or something. It opened, and Ali got out of the door. She came out of the demon dimension as Dodge, like in the Dodge's form, with her face. Like, Ali was there. She's out. And I'm like, shit, man. So then, obviously, the next episode, we fixed her. She went back to being Ali. Her and Rufus reunited, and I'm so glad we got to have a Rufus-Ali reuniting, because honestly, it was so emotional. I was like, holy shit. Like, we didn't get to see Rufus much, except for, like, one episode when Brody visited him. But, like, just having them reunite was everything. They really just tied up everything. Like, Dodge, they finally got rid of Dodge. And I'm really glad that the OG Dodge, the actress who played her in season 1, came back in season 2 at the end to reprise the role in, like, the final battle, which was so cool. Because as much as I love Griffin playing Dodge, I really love the OG Dodge. Like, there's just something about her, like, you stan, you know? There's just something about her that you're just like, yes, queen, I support you. But also, she's evil. But, like, just the way she's just crazy. I love her, man. But they brought her back, and then now she's gone, though Dodge is gone. But then at the end, or actually, they got Dodge, they killed Dodge, but then it brought Lucas back, because he was an Echo. But then, obviously, he went away, I'm pretty sure. I think he went away? I can't remember. I think he disappeared. Like, he was like, I'm going. Or, like, because he couldn't stay in our world or whatever. But at the end, there was a cliffhanger. You think it was all, like, in a neat bow. Because Tyler left. Because Jackie's dead. He wanted to, like, take some time away. Which is fair enough. So everything was like, you know, tied up. It was nice. Hello. And then at the end, Eden had the Echo Key because Dodge kept it in there as an emergency. But now that Dodge is gone, Eden's like, hey, I'm back. But, like, the way that the Locks don't even care about Eden, like, oh, like, she's fine. They didn't even worry about her. They weren't even worried about her. And I'm like, she's gonna cause some shit, man. And she did. She got the Echo Key. She went to the well house and she summoned that British guy, that soldier guy from the 1775 who got possessed by one of the demons from the black door or the portal, because when he died, the demon, you know, but then when she brought him back, the demon came back with him in his body. But Eden was like, oh, it's you, like, he must be a really bad demon. Well, maybe he's like the leader or something, because she's like, I didn't know that you were possessing him. And then he goes and throws Eden in the well. So, like, man, I'm fucking stressed, okay? This show is so good. This show is good. You all need to watch it. I rambled long enough. I'm sorry. But honestly, I have so many thoughts. So many thoughts. I loved everything about this show. There's nothing I hate. Like, it's amazing. They're everything to me. Like, they're my family. You know, I'm sorry. It's just such a good show that you don't expect is going to be good, but then it just really surprises you. But yeah, definitely I recommend watching this show. If you haven't, you better start watching it because it is such an underrated show and they're always the best ones. Mark my words, trust me, you will not be disappointed if that genre's up your alley. If not, that's cool. But trust me, it's such a fun adventure to go on, you know. But yeah, guys, that was my really, really messy rant video about Locke Key Season 2. What did you guys think? If you have watched it, comment your favorite parts, your favorite characters, your favorite stories, what your favorite moments were. I want to know everything. But yeah, that's it from me. I love you guys. My final rating is 10 out of 10 for Locke Key. There is a Season 3, thank God, which I have filmed. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, this season really surprised me. It really stepped it up from Season 1, which I really appreciated. But it didn't lose what the show is about, which sometimes shows do. But yeah, 10 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. Go check it out on Netflix. That's it from me, guys. I love you all. Stay tuned tomorrow for another reaction. And I'll see you guys soon. Ciao for now. Bye, guys.